How about that? Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can hear me now, and very nice to be with you. Alrighty. So, hey, have a look at this. Hopefully you can tell there is one, no screen flicker, two, much nicer resolution on the camera, and also no focus bounce. I'm really excited about that. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. All thanks to my friend Kylie, who came around and got everything working. Now here's a question: can you hear the the what is it? The cable. This cable rubbing up against the zipper on my jacket. Uh, if you can, let me know, and I'll try to see what I can do about that. Otherwise, I think we're kind of good to go here. Yes, hey Skits, and yes, I'll definitely let you know about the settings because the settings are good. You can a little, hey? Now that's interesting. Yeah. Well, I don't want to take my jacket off because it's freezing. Um, I don't know. I'll see how we go. I'll see how we go. I just may have to take the jacket off. But yes, hello and good evening to every. Oh, here we go. Jonas brought my beanie because I am freezing. Beanie time. Beanie time. All right, 1 second. Okay, we have the beanie, and people say hello to Joanna.
Hello, peoples.
There we go. Joanna says hello, peoples. So here we go. New camera, new setup, new rig. I'm very, very excited about it. I have my coffee, which is also important. But tonight I am going to be building one of these. The Adeptus Titanicus Warhound Scout Titan. Okay, yep, and Mr. Xenomorph, good evening. And let's have a look through the chat. Yeah, thank you for the nice camera. Oh, Cinder, you are in Brisbane this week. Excellent. I'll contact you via Facebook and arrange for a meetup at some stage. That will be brilliant. And yeah, no coffee paint mix-ups tonight. No, I'm afraid not, Skit. Sorry, you lose that level of entertainment. Now, anyhow, here is the instructions. I I saw the back of the instructions accidentally when I pulled everything out of the box, but let's have a look at it. Okay, so what we appear to have here. Okay, that looks like the bottom bit. No, that's the pelvis. That's where you connect it all together. And it looks like the legs. Now the legs are forward knees, chicken legs. Okay, that is going to get confusing. Undoubtedly, we've got. Hang on, where's me pointy stabby stick? Okay, the feet don't seem to have a particular style. Anything goes. Now we've got some armor plating that goes on the front. Okay, the crotch piece, knee pieces, shin guards. All right, that'll be interesting. Oh, Skids, this is your last visit.
What?
You right, Joe?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. This is Skids' last time as my mod for a while. She's going back to netball. Okay, well I may have to talk, try to promote Cinder. Anyway, let's see. Now this is the main. That looks like the main body. The lower parts. We've got the top. Maybe that's the arm bits. All right, we plug the front on. The rear engines. They plug in. Little tiny thing here has to plug in. And little tiny things plug in the top there as well. That won't be confusing at all. Um, let's have a look. Multiple versions of the top piece. That's good to know. Or Imperial bits, maybe. Alright, it could be a good guy, it could be a bad guy thing. Arm plugs. The head looks complicated. That'll be exciting. Why is it showing you multiple ways to do the head? Great. Oh, okay, there's variant faceplates. Alright, that's going to be interesting. Lots of guns. Different ways to build the guns. Plasma cannon, Vulcan Mega Bolter, Super Flame gun, and a turbo laser, I think. And lastly, that's how it's meant to look. You're meant to put all the bits together, and that's what it's meant to look like at the end. Alright, sure. That could be interesting. Alright, now I'm just going to do a quick check on my focus. One moment, everyone. I'm just going to bring up my settings to make sure that the focus is probably where I want it to be. I want to get able to get some hand detail and some fire detail. Yeah, that looks alright. I think I've set that to 259. Alright, we'll try this focus setting out, people. Okay. Very complicated. Allow 2 chances to look. I get 2 shots of looking at the instructions if I need it. Okay. Well, I've looked through it once. Let's go. I'm going to put this so you know that I'm not cheating. Alright, I'm going to put it there. Alright, I'm going to put it there. Okay, well, let's get into this then. We've got that's clearly the weapon sprue. Look at all that detail I can now show you properly. Look at that. Anyway, that's the weapon sprue. Delicious weapons. And that looks like all the armor bits, the carapace parts, the head bits, crotch plates. Oh, there's 2 on here. That's cool. Okay, there's 2. There's 2 Warhound Titans on here. That may get confusing. Alright. And then you got the leggy bits and the stuff. Leggy bits and stuff. Okay. Just occurs to me I don't have the base plate down. I wonder what size that is. I'm going to have to go over and have a look at that. I'm really sorry, everyone. I need to go and see if I can find a base plate. Alright. I'll be back in a second. Alrighty, okay. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm back. What have I missed? Yeah, right. No coup. Thank you very much. Um, coup postponed. Thank you, Mr. Xenomorph. This is not the right size base plate. We're going to call this a temporary base plate because the actual base plate is not here. It is somewhere. No idea where. So, oh well, let's just do it anyway. This could be he could be tiptoeing at this rate, but we'll just make it happen. Alrighty, so I'd say I probably lost some skits, knowing me. I mean, it is me, right? So more than likely the base plates are misplaced. Oh well, that's life when you're me. And what is wrong with these clippers? They are very not clipping properly. But anyway, having a great evening. Okay, so legs. Now, I'm trying to remember which way they went. I'm pretty sure they were kneecap forwards, which begs the question, which one is the knee? I'm going to assume that way. Well, there's two of them. If I make a complete muppet out of one, I've got a chance to fix the other one. Oh, that's doing its thing as well. All right, let's shut that down. Okay. There's that. How has everyone's week been? I forgot to ask. Very rude of me. I'm a terrible host. How is everyone doing this week? Hopefully you're all doing fairly well. Alright, well there's that. Now for the feats. Feed. Skits is alive and not on fire. Well, that is encouraging. Oh, new job, Zeno. That is very good. I'm glad it's all going very well. That's excellent. Didn't even know you were looking for work, mate. Or maybe just this job just appeared out of nowhere, perhaps. But either way, very good. Now there's a chance of bleeding tonight, I'd say, because there's going to be a lot of sharp work going on here, and I have a very itchy nose. So the possibilities of me scratching my face whilst holding a razor blade is fairly high. I'll try not to. But, well, I'll try not to bleed from the face during this particular presentation. Cindy, you got a headache. That's not good, mate. Maybe it's not just because you've come back to Brisbane for a bit, is it? That'll be unfortunate, but possible. Okay, both of these feet are on the tippy toes feet. Wonder if there's other sorts of, if the feet are they all tippy toe feet? Oh. Been in the works for a bit, but it did just come out of the ground. Okay, excellent. Oh, very good to hear. Very, very glad to hear that, Mr. Xenomorph. Glad to hear that something is going right. Alright, actually, hang on. That goes that way. I'm sorry tonight. I've got a sniffle and an itchy nose. This is going to be great viewing for everyone. I apologize in advance. I'll do my very best not to sniffle constantly. Okay, so there's the legs. As tempting as it is just to glue them down now, I'm not going to do that because, well, maybe I will. No, I won't do that yet. I'll wait. Let's see if I can put the pelvis together. All right, that looks promising. Those bits there, I'd say, these bits here uh, are your gyroscopic stabilizers, or something very technical like that, I'm sure, also known as the pelvis. Yeah, let's see if that's a good plan. Whoop. Now, Joanna and I finished watching all of our NCIS that's available on DVD at the moment, for the main one anyway. So we've just started watching MacGyver again, or the new MacGyver, not the old MacGyver. I try watching the old MacGyver, makes me twitch. I mean, some of it's relatively factually accurate, or possible at least. But yeah, no. The new one is just as silly. However, it seems to may have a bit more fun with the concept of how silly it is. And they have the characters reacting as if it's silly as well. Test fit everything. Yes, okay, I'll definitely do my best. Oh yeah, look at that, first go. Pff, test fitting. Didn't need that. That was a piece of cake. Yeah, that came out. Eh. It's all stubby. That's not going to work. Oh, hang on, there's the other one. Maybe that's just the dead one. Ah! Nope, come back. Maybe it's the dead one. Maybe this is the one I want. This is the one I want. Oh, nope, that's full hand as well. Okay, hang on. And it's all leaky. Okay, we got leaky or we got stubby. This isn't working. Maybe if I... Oh, there we go. A little bit of violence. Seems to be the key. Aha, there we go. Nope. Next step is flames. When in doubt, set it on fire. I'll try not to burn the house down, darling. It's okay. And after all that, it's empty. Yeah, this is great. We're going good. Okay. Maybe this one again. Yeah, look at that. It's only 17th time that... Now bump the power. None of that. Thank you. Great. Welcome. Welcome to Mechworks Hobby Chat, where the Muppet does his best not to set the house on fire or completely destroy himself on camera. I must say, having tried to explain to some people why I've named the bits box, or the, sorry, that's Skitz's group. Yes, the ducks. See, I was about to go, trying to explain why I've named you all the Council of Ducks has been trickier than I thought it would be. Because the plastic shards went in my coffee. Alright, just gotta straighten out the chunky bits, I suppose. Anyway. Yeah, explain the whole Council of Ducks thing. That was interesting, and it didn't work. Okay, right, where was I? What was I even doing? What's that bit even do? Okay, well, let's just continue with the rule of making it up as I go along. Well, that seems... Oh, look at that. That slots in really nicely. That slots in easy. That's easy. Ah, thought this was going to be difficult. No, it doesn't really taste as much like plastic as you'd think. Mind you, I've got a bit of a cold, so maybe it does. How would I know? Oh. Let's see now. That seems to go okay. There's meant to be a crotch piece. Oh, there's different designs. The council gets to decide something. This is excellent. Now, let's see. Oh, there's only two different designs for the crotch piece. It's boring. Alright. Let's see. We've got mildly chaosy, and then mostly imperial. I wonder if I can manually adjust that camera for you, so we can have a better look at those pieces. I want to show off some of the detail here. One moment. No, no. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yeah, there's the pieces there. Okay, are we going mildly chaosy? We're going mildly chaosy. Okay, it's not true chaosy, it's just mildly chaosy. And we'll move that back to about 280. Actually, 280 seems to be a pretty good focus point. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so anyway, mildly chaosy. That's this one. Okay. Now I wonder where that goes. Well, if you look at the parts, that bit seems to have a bit of a slot, and the front has a slot of this bit, whereas the back has nothing on it. The back has detail, nowhere to plug anything. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that the slot is the front bit, and we'll go on just like that. That's my guess, and let's lock that in, Jim. Nope, maybe. Yep, locking in option A at the front. Boom. Locked in. Oop, and a little bit tidy up. There we go. Okay, next part will be the leg bits, the leggy components. Oh, there's bits at the back and bits at the front. That's not helpful. Although it kind of looks like something would plop in the front there, doesn't it? That bit there. And something might slot in there. There's a little bit of slotty thing at the back. Maybe there's a part you put on at the back as well. I'm not sure. Oh, well, either way. Let's see. So that'll probably be shin guards, right? Shin guards go on the front. Okay, back to choices again, everybody. We got really fancy shin guards. And then we got, looks like it's a noble shin guards. It's mildly chaosy shin guards. How about we go one super fancy one, and shall I continue with the mildly chaos theme? Because I don't know if I want to mix it up too much with themes. How do we feel about that idea? And while I'm doing that, I'm going to see if this bit fits in the front like I think it might. Oh yeah? Yeah, it works. Piece of cake. Brilliant. Brilliant. Let's go. Okay, it's chaos. Chaosy. That's 1 to chaosy. I'll take it off just in case. Unless we get an argument from the rest of the ducks. Unless the rest of the council rules against. We'll go with slightly chaotic. Chaotic? Chaotic. That's 2 for everything chaosy. Alright, everything is a mildly chaotic version. No one will see that. That's okay. And there's that. All those little bits. That's quite nice. Okay, so let's give this a crack. I'm gonna slightly stridey forwards, I think. Yeah, we'll do that. Blink. Hang on. Nope, that goes around the other way. Goes that way. Nearly stuffed it. What a save! What a save. And we'll put the other one back a little bit, facing a little bit backward, set further back in the notch. That way we could simulate movement. There we go. There we go. That's coming together nicely, isn't it? So far, no disasters. What are we worried about, skits? Going fine, people. Yeah. No dramas at all. Piece of cake, mate. Now we'll put this shin guard in. Gee, I hope that's the right spot. And shin guard on the other side. There we go. Kind of. There we go. Big fat Space Marine legs. Kaplonk, kaplonk, kaplonk. We're like a tubby marine out of this thing. This could be like a real chibi style dreadnought or something. Yeah. I'm so sorry about the sniffles, everyone. I wish I could stop. I'm really sorry. But it's cold, and now I'm warm because I'm wearing all my layers. And 2 lights running here at the moment. Because that's one thing I figured out when we put Kylie came around and helped out. I've got multiple lights happening here, so I'm countering shadows, which is working well. Okay, so yeah, leggy bits. All right. Yeah, both of these seem to be very much tippy toe feet. I wonder if on the other sprue we got different sorts of feet. What do I need? I don't want everything to be on its toes. That's all. Is there a difference in stuff? There is. I think there might be. I'll rip one off and see. You got a Patreon boost for the week? Scheduled time to boot up Battletech? I don't follow what that means. You have to actually play a game while you're also so you have to run a game skits while while I'm doing this. Well, okay, my mod's nicking off to play games. So there we go. If it all goes wrong, it's up to. Oh, look at that! Look at that. Well, only that makes sense. There we go. Yeah, I found they're not both tippy toe feet, so I can actually make it look like it's walking. All right, I'll put that one there. Put that. Oh, check that. There's detail on the underside. There's tread on the toe, on the underside of the toes, for crying out loud. Look at that. That's so cool. That is brilliant. I'm loving that. Very nice. Now I'm getting some really cool scenery ideas where you could actually have proper looking footprints marching across the ground. If say you go and get some milliput and make indents and stuff. I feel bad actually about putting glue into these really well designed feet, but oh well, that's what happens. And now we'll just make sure they don't go anywhere. Now when I find the proper base for this monstrosity, I'll just probably stick this base down on the other base and make a tiered base level. Base level? Terrain sort of thing, you know what I mean. That'll work. Alright, so, and now I get the other foot and I make it look like it's stepping. I'd like to hold it up to show you, but it's not going to go properly if I do that. But the idea, I'll try anyway. So you got one foot there. You put the other foot at the back slightly raised. Alright, and then you plonk plonk like that to make it look slightly aggressive. And because of you guys, in my head this looks slightly duck-like now. Alright, stick this down. See if that idea holds traction. And just because people like me living on the edge, I am going to guesstimate where these feet are going to go. I'm guesstimating there. And no, I'm not painting them like ducks. That's definitely not. I could give them yellow heads though. Maybe. Painting them up like a proper duck, like a mallard or something. No, oh, we'll see. Oh, the guesstimation is a failure. I'll slot that back a little bit. That mightn't look terrible. What an incredible revelation. I might have just put guessworked my way to victory with these feet. For all I can tell, maybe. Maybe not. Oh, it's looking more like a knot. Oh, no, there we go. That'll do the job. Titan ducks. Oh, Skits, you're a bit of a fan of the old biker mice, aren't you? Because Mouse recently has found his old biker mice toys, and he's looking at offloading them, I believe. I can have a chat to him for you if you like. Okay. That foot goes over there. Look at that. That's almost in position already. Piece of cake. I think. I'm forgetting something, aren't I? What am I forgetting? Oh! The bits and pieces that go on the upper leg. That's what I'm forgetting. Okay, so. Mildly chaosy. As previous. Got knee pads to go on this thing. Knee pads, my friends. Yes, they have Decepticons. They have Decepticons. They have a very old collectible set, actually. The Road... it's the Decepticon cars that used to go along with Roadmaster and the rest of them. And transform into one of those Gestalt biggie ones. Oh, Mr. Xenomorph. Okay. I may have to talk to you as well at some stage. Then I'll have to figure out who you are properly, so think carefully about that. Actually, how's everyone's hobby going this week? Actually, I keep dropping that? Did everyone have a successful hobby weekend? I know Mr. Xenomorph was thinking about getting back into some hobby, I think, from last chat. And how is your knitting going, Cinder? Oh, Skit's got some poxwalkers done. How did your Gene Stealers come along, by the way? And how cool is the Broodlord in that Gene Stealer set from the Space Hulk set? Now, okay. Oh, look at that. This is Murray proof. I'll show you some. See, we got a notch. Where are we? Here we are. There. We have a notch in there. All right. And in the knee guard, there's a little notch on the inside there. So that should slot together quite simply. Or not simply, because I don't... It's either forward facing like that, or inverted like that. Ah, okay, one of them sits in nice and neat like that, but leaves the kneecap open. The other one pops off. The other way, sits like that as a proper knee guard. However, it kind of there's a resistance. Fitting it in like that doesn't work. It kind of feels like there's a pushback. So I'm going to go with the easiest way. That one slots in pretty much perfectly. Yeah, those fit in fine. The other way kind of feels like you got to force it. Okay, let's see what we've got in the chat box. Cinderpidgey wanted to knit on the plane. Yeah, that's a great idea. Get out the sharp, stabby things on the plane. That's probably not going to work. But Ari will be the... Huh. What are you doing, Mrs. North? Oh, new games are coming out. And Ori's a good game, although I do recommend the BattleTech stuff. And of course, watching me do this makes you want to paint and get into hobby again, because that's what it does. Okay, we'll go with the perfect fitting version. Yeah, that just slots in absolutely perfectly. So I think that's the way it's meant to be. And if it isn't, oh well, there you go. There. Big chunky legs. Now, what's got me annoyed is it looks like something. Can you see that in there? That looks like a tab. That looks like a tab that something would slot onto or against. But I can't really spot anything that goes there. So we'll probably find out later if I've done that right or wrong. All right. Well, let's get gluing these legs down. Gluing, glue everywhere as usual. Not exactly precise. Okay. Well. Oh, MechWarrior 5 with friends. Yeah, I've heard that's good. I've got MechWarrior 5. I have to reinstall it because I nuked everything on my computer because I don't know if any of you watched my most recent upload to my YouTube channel, but I managed to brick my machine and thoroughly just trying to install Windows 10. I have a special set of skills, none of them to do with IT. I can stuff up an IT task like nobody else. Oh, I love that coffee. Oh, apart from that bit, that was really sharp. All right, that's one piece of plastic dealt with. Oh. Okay, we're good. We're fine. But that's the legs of a Warhound Titan. That looks pretty exciting. Although he's got this funny little step to him, hasn't he? Look at that. Yeah, well, I was renowned. Actually, Xenomorph, that's a good point. I used to work at the New Media College. I was renowned for failing at IT constantly. The best way that I could get IT support for my computer at work was to tell them that I was going to do it myself. I remember contacting IT, my mate Brendan. He used to work work there in the IT department, right? And I rang him up from the library, and I said, "Hey man, look, I've got something wrong with my computer, but I heard that there's a couple of BIOS options, and I wrote some of the instructions down. So I'm gonna muck about with that and see if I can fix it and save you some time." I timed him. It took him 32 seconds to get from his office up on level 3 down to my library on level 1. I could hear him flying down the steps to get there in time. It was fantastic. He came bursting in the library, swearing at me to not touch anything. Mate, that was amazing. I loved it. And the best bit is that I'd stuffed up enough times. No, I'd stuffed up IT enough times that they were never sure if I was joking or not, and they were not willing to risk it. I got the best help just by threatening to do it myself. Fantastic. Anyway, anyway, there we go. He's got this little splayed step to the. He looks very he's stepping proud. It's like He looks like yeah on the what is that? That's the left. Yeah, on the left. He's kind of stepping out a little funky. Okay, so there's that. Well done, me. Did the legs. Good job, Simmons. Now the rest. The rest. Alright, well, let's have a look at this. Unless it's over here. No, this is all the paneling. Okay, that's the big paneling section. Good. Just all the technical bits on this side. Okay. So. Well, this looks important. Let's start with this bit, eh? I'll get this bit out. And see how we go. Ow, ow, ow. Yeah, poor Brendan. I really, and the general IT department. They really did have to put up a fair bit. I do remember that time that my spacebar broke, so I had to send them a I sent them a very long, panicky, intentionally long and panicky message, um, talking about how my spacebar is broken on my computer, and it came back that they thought it looked like they thought I was having a stroke, so they sent someone down to get me a new keyboard and to make sure that I was okay. I my I managed to stuff up IT so badly that they sent down people to just check on my welfare. All right, so that's why I'm always amused by people asking me for IT help. It's like you got to be kidding me. I am the opposite. I don't even, also don't know why I've grabbed this piece out. This this bit might go there. I don't know. I have no idea. So these bits also look important. These look like chassis parts. So let's do that. Let's see if we can build the main chassis. See if we can do that. Were you muttering? Muttering, my dear? I'm not annoying you, am I, darling? Always annoying you. Right, okay, so it's operational standard? As long as there's no surprises. I'm okay with that. Yeah. Yeah, oh dear. And that is an achievement. Yeah, it is an achievement. I'm amazing at this sort of thing. Alright. Oh, look at that. Okay, so I just noticed. So this bit has got that rounded edge, that rounded top. Right? And these bits have a little rounded notch, if you can see that. Yeah? So I'm thinking that theoretically that might fit there. Look at that. It does. I'm a genius. Haha, it fits. Perfect. Let's do that. Oh, hang on. Why have I got to put the glue? Alright, we'll do that. Glue, hello, please, glue. Fine. How much fuel I've got left in the lighter? Fair bit, that's good. Cool. Yeah, I had a lot of fun trying to do IT things. At one stage I was very good at it, but then technology got better than I did. That didn't take much, admittedly. Everything I know was Murray versus the printer, but then again, no one ever had luck with printers, so who cares? That doesn't count. There we go. Huh. That looks mostly okay, doesn't it? Look at that. That looks pretty cool. That looks pretty good. No idea what goes next. Oh, hang on. Or do I? Ooh, that looks like a ploppy in slotty bit. Ploppy, sloppy, it's slotty. Pff, it worked. It fitted. It fitted kind of, maybe. Yes. Yes. That goes. Okay, there we go. That goes there. I don't know if it goes there yet, though. Maybe other bits are meant to go there. Looks like it's missing something. I think we're missing bits, people. I think I'm missing a BA. Not sure. Oh, there was glue on my fingers. Oh, right on the edge of my nose. Oh, I have burns. Ouch. Okay, so that stuff burns. Ah, right. That's eye-watering. Oh dear. Okay. Ah, right. More coffee. Ah. All right, let's get back to this disaster. Mm. So, I don't know what this bit does, but it looks like it plugs into into the front bit or the back bit or something. It just needs to do something. I was going to say that I'm also the guy that I set up a network render for get as many computers working to do the 3D Max network rendering option. Oh, my nose. And I managed to crash the room I was working on and the room next to me and the room one below, I think. Or was it one up? Either way, I managed to crash the system so hard I took my room and the other rooms around me with me. So that was also an achievement. Let's see if I can. I think this one goes in here. Yeah. Nope. Where's the little slots go? Oh, it goes the other way. I do remember Steve Britton just shaking his head and looking sad. He wasn't mad. He was just sad. Yeah, that was my introduction to network rendering. I was never allowed to network render again without assistance. They learnt very quickly that I was just they just had to keep an eye on me when it came to technical stuff. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that worked. I don't think he was disappointed. I just don't think he believed it could have happened. He hadn't known me long enough to get disappointed. I think that came later. There we go. There we go. That's the front of whatever that is. I think it's a big ball joint, so the head probably goes in the front there. And then this bit would slot on the top. And then things will go up here. But I don't know what's going to go up in there just yet. So we won't rush ahead there. We'll look at this and go, no idea. Oh, thank you. I really enjoyed my library job. That was a great time. I think that suited me quite well. But hey, nothing is forever. And they needed a teaching librarian, which I was not. I was not going to be able to get hold of a degree in time to do what they needed. And as much as I loved being there and they liked having me there, they needed a particular role to be filled. And if you can't fulfill the role, you're going to have to look at other options. How does that even go in? See, theoretically, that looks like it's meant to go there, people. But it also looks like it isn't going there. So I've got no idea what goes at the back here. How is that even... How does that do a thing? What else we got here? What am I missing? Aside from common sense. What are these bits? Oh, they look exciting. Okay, I can't see anything that would go in that area on this piece of the sprue. So we're going to jump over to the next bit and see if we can find anything on there. This is an additional mystery. Skits, it's a mystery. It's fun. I think. Okay, there's nose plates for the head. Ooh, wait, I wonder. What if... Hang on. Yep, okay, what if nothing really fits in there? It's just more like housing. Ah, look at that. Ha ha. I figured it out. Ah, it's on the floor. That's gone forever. Okay, well. Oh, look, there's more bits. Ah, good. I've got no idea where that piece went. Oh, just remember, I'll probably find it with my bare foot later and injure myself again. That'll be good value. All right, so we'll try that again. But yes, look, see, I was looking at this bit. I was trying to figure out how this fits in, and it doesn't go in easily, you know. And most of these things end up slotting together pretty simply, but because I am amazing, I managed. Look at that. That slots in perfectly. And this bit, oh, it pops in like that. Ha ha! Ha ha! I bluffed it. Yeah. All right. I'm going to go ahead and call this a testament to the incredible design abilities of the GW design teams, because I'm literally freestyling this, and and it's kind of working. Now there was a little bit I memorized because I'm pretty sure I was going to forget it. There it is. You know how like you'll see a bit and you just know you're going to forget it, so you focus. So you focus on it. Yeah, this is the one bit I really remember as to where it should go. This fits in the back here, this little bit, except it isn't fitting. This bit fits the... Nope. Maybe there's flashing in the way. Let's try that. Oh, all I can smell is chemical glue. I just got this in the left nostril. All it is just this glue smell right now. Oh. Alright, let's try that. Yep, cool. That bit slots in there. There. Come on, don't have to burn it again. There we go. I've never used nail polish, Cinder. Actually, no, that's not true. I have used nail polish. I used it to try and remove paint from a model once. Once. You only do that once. Because the model isn't structurally sound enough to do it twice. That's come off again. Okay, so I'm thinking I'm just going to glue that in. I don't know what goes there. Don't know if anything goes there. Maybe this just slots on there. I don't know what goes there. Maybe nothing. Maybe something. I just don't know. I don't know where that bit is. No idea where that bit is either. Maybe that goes in there. No, I don't think so. Maybe? No. I don't think that does. Doesn't look like it would. Alright, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to go ahead, carry on. And... oh. So, let's just do it. Just doing it. You'll be proud of me, Cinder. I'm just not worrying about it. I'm just going ahead and doing it. I went ahead and it's done. Oh, look at that great big thumbprint. That's great. There's a feature. I can genetically I can identify this model as mine via my dirty great thumbprint on the side. Oh well. That could have been worse. Could have been blood again. Oh yeah. Although there probably will be blood if Skits ever gets hold of me because of this. Anyway. Glue this bit in. No. I'm gluing you. You go where I put you. There we go. Haha. Actually, I probably should glue along that ridge just to make sure. Sorry, I'm off camera. Someone yell at me in text or whatever if I'm off camera too much, please. I gotta get better at doing that. There we go. That goes there. Hope that other bit slots in okay now that I've glued it. Yeah, it does. No dramas. No worries, people. It's all going good. Skits is yelling. Well, it's probably going to be good for you not to be my mod anymore, Skits. I'm causing you pain, my friend. There we go. There we go. Do, 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 do. Ta-da! Okay, that's the rear bit. I wonder how that even goes on. I'd say there's another bit I haven't put in properly yet. Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll figure that out as I go. Oh, right. Sorry, carry on. Continue with the yelling if I'm off camera. Right, thank you. Thank you, Skits. And there we go. Look at that. Engine bay is slotted in. That's grand. Don't know what goes up the top there. That's a mystery. And that doesn't fit. Doesn't fit at all. Oh no. Oh no. That doesn't fit at all. No idea. What are these little bits? Oh, I know where those go. There's all needlessly extra detail parts. Slot in the top, I'm pretty sure. I'm fairly certain. Oh, no. Oh, that's a shame. Oh, well, well, I will... This will be available for rewatch at Cinder, since your dad's busy. Oh, actually, on that note, now that I've got my film editing software working again, I'll be able to get all these previous ones and all these previous videos and put them up for display as well on YouTube. But this one will be available on Twitch to watch again later. That doesn't look too bad. It just doesn't fit. It doesn't go. Why doesn't it go? Why doesn't it? Oh. I wonder if that's what that is. I think this bit may be the little cog plate that goes between the main body and the legs. Maybe. Well, we're about to find out. That's experiment time. Okay, so this might be the coggy bit because there's a notch and there's a notch. See, back up here again. You see how there's that little notch there? Yeah? And on this bit, there's a little... Man, I love this better definition camera. Oh, I can show you things. And there's a little notch bit in there. See that? I'm thinking that those two will just notch together. Like that. Then... Ha-ha! Ha-ha-ha! Victory! Like magic it is. You're right, it's like magic. And the bit goes on there. Look at that. Brilliant, mate. Ah, piece of cake. Ah, my nose burns. Mind you, stop my sniffles. Turns out glue directly to the brain will clog up the sniffles. Probably don't recommend it though. It burns. Alright, so I think... Okay, do we want to... For the top plate, I know we're going slightly chaosy. Then there's very chaosy. But I really do like the fancy look. But we're going slightly chaosy, so I think we'll stick with the slightly chaos, yeah? Let me know what you think, people. Whilst I build ahead. Oh, and we've also got... If I bring it around this way for you. Two different head types. We've got the mildly chaos cheeks on that one. Oh. Oh, it's the other side. Huh. And then on the other side, we've got the much more Imperial looking head. But since everyone's voting Chaos, I'm just going to guess ahead and go with Chaos. Things I don't want to paint them up Chaos. Maybe these will be some of the guys that were just pre-Chaos. Mind you, you can also have Chaosy looking heads and stuff without them overdoing it, I suppose. I think that's a Chaos. That looks like a top plate for a head. Looks a bit of a nose bridge there. That kind of looks like a nose thing, so I'm not sure. Okay, so the other bit I'll use, because that bit's gone. I don't know where that went. So I'm going to hold it down this time because I don't want to have to go hunting behind me for another piece. I've got some really kind of expensive bits of plastic flying around the place here. Anyway. I have to make a note. I have to remember to go looking for those components. Alright. That doesn't look too bad. Yeah, that's going to work. Look at that. Those bits are going to pop together almost. Oh, we've got flashing on the inside. That's why that's not working. Give that a bit of a shave. And take off the front there. And on the back. Ducks are agents of chaos. Okay, so we're going to go with the duck theme, are we? Alright, people. Start finding me duck colorations and designs. For a whole legion, a Titan legion in duck colors. Damn it. I did bring this upon myself, though, didn't I? Alright, so alright, well that's okay. Now I need a new faceplate, don't I? Need the faceplate. Need the faceplate. Okay. I've got a feeling that these ones might look like. Oh, sorry. These ones kind of look more like teethy snouts than the regular snoutage. Got that one. We got that one. I think I'm going to go these ones. The Mallard Legion. Really? Alright, fine. Oop. Okay, so that's the snout. Ah, stop it. That's the underside. In honor of Ducky from NCIS. Okay, well that... Oh! Well, there's half a head in my coffee going for doing laps. It's great. Sure, why not? Everything else has ended up in the coffee. So, okay. That was easy. It's probably the easiest part of this model all night. Gotta get the coffee off. Yeah. The mighty mallards. Yeah, well, that's not terrible. Oh, it's kind of... Yeah, right. I thought about putting it in my mouth just to suck the coffee off, because coffee's important, but no. There was no glue on it, which is the best bit. Because that would have been really tasted weird. Okay. I'm going to roll the dice and assume that sticking the head together first isn't going to ruin everything else. For example, where's the bottom plate? Where is the bottom of this thing? Do you reckon that's the bottom of the head? No, that's the top of the head. Where's the jaw? Alright, so I have no idea where the bottom of the jaw has gone. Isn't that great? And I'm currently making an assumption about this bit going here. But I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah. I think that does. I think that goes. Look at that. That slots in. Alright, that's good. We'll do that. But I have no idea where the bottom of his head is. If I go ahead with his current design, the pilot's going to be feeling the breeze. So, where? And which part is that? Jaw bits, head bits, crotch bits, noggin bits, back, forwards. Oh, maybe this bit. Maybe these bits. Let's try that. That looks like a very similar. That looks like a. That there looks like it should fit in here, right? You know what? I'm pretty sure it does. So, I'm gonna glue it first and then just drop it in because I am feeling confident. Now I'm feeling less confident as I'm about to do it. Let's try. My confidence pays off. Yeah, it fits. Now, to many of you with any sort of engineering or design or sculpting abilities, that would have been, of course it goes there, Murray. Well, I can stuff up nearly anything, so I was not certain. And look at that, the top just pops on like that. That's the doggy head. I'm really happy with that. I thought that was going to be a lot harder. Doggy head is on. Look at the doggy noggin. The doggin. Grrr. And I'm assuming that goes in like that. Or maybe that way. I'd say it's that way. I'm not going to glue that yet. Don't fear, don't stress. I still got to figure out where that other... I don't know. There's meant to be some... I don't think there's something there. I'm just going to go ahead and assume that the slightly chaosy top just plugs in. Because I don't see... Ow. Any other bits that could. The doggin. Yeah. Ah. Okay. Alrighty. I wonder if there's actually a duck with purple in it. A white, green, and purple duck design might be interesting. The other trick would just be making it... Oh, look at that! One shot. Beautiful. Dropped it straight in like that. I don't think anything is meant to fit in there then. Alright. Let's do it. Let's complete this disaster, shall we? Boom. Dropped on like a crab shell. There we have a torso. Oh, very chunky. Oh, there's little... Oh, that's right, little pippy bits up the top. There's little tiny bits are meant to slot in there. There they... Look at them. There they are, these tiny little bits. Why would you make that an optional part to put in? Why not just mold that in? Why would you why would you do that? Like, surely you could just mold that in, right? Alright. One, two little bits to one. No what? Oh. I'll have to check that later. That seems to be a no, but we'll have to check it. Oh, there we go. Look, I don't know why you wouldn't just mold it in. Like, their plastic injection is very good. They can get details of all sorts on. Why have those as extra little pluggy bits? I don't know. I just don't fathom it. All right. Well, I think that's pretty much ready to. Should I glue that on top yet? I could. Don't see any reason not to. Just. Are there any other bits I need to worry about? Probably. But am I going to worry about them? Probably not. Oh, arm bits. I think that's what these are. These little stubbly things go in here. For arming. For the armatures. Oh, come back. No. Hang on. So, if you have a look at here again. Bring it around. Don't know if you can see it, but there's the tiniest little notching. Just in there, there's a tiny little notch. And on the arms, or the stubby things, again, don't know if you can see, but there's this tiniest little knobby bit on the edge there. Can't get it to camera. There we go. I think you can see that. I think, and so if you line those two bits up, I think that's meant to clip in. See if we can see that. I think that's just meant to slot in like that. So I'm gonna try that. Where'd it go? There we go. In. I'll do both sides. That seemed to work. I wonder if I was meant to do that yet. No idea. Now I'm thinking for style of motion, we just chuck it off. Ah! Alright, so we'll just line that up again. Right in the fingernail. Okay. Anyway. Let's see. I'm thinking we'll have line of motion following that foot. That left foot will be his leading foot. So I think we'll have the torso roughly, twisting in that direction. Because that would make sense. To me, anyway. Have the torso following line of travel. The line of motion. And if I line it up, I could probably have, if I wanted to, I could have the center of the torso in line with the middle toe on the left. Now that might be a fairly dramatic swing around. Okay, that's a little too far, I think. That looks a little bit too much of a drift from this point of view. Stop falling over. So I'll just have it twisting a little bit. Yeah, alright, we'll do that. And we'll get it all mushy. Twist around enough times that it starts to friction and glue will do its thing. I can feel that tightening up. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. That will create quite the nice weld. And okay, so we've got the upper body twisting towards the motion of the left foot. I'm quite happy with that idea. That looks pretty good. And does this remind anyone else of Ed 209, I think it was called, from the Robocop? At the moment, from the Robocop movie? Was it called Ed 209? Or was it something else? But the big Robocop droid. Now, if your dad would know that one if he was here, Cinder, but he isn't. There we go. There we go. Ah, I have confirmation from Mr. Xenomorph. Alright, now, with the head, I can have the head... Actually, yeah, that'll work, because I can have the head twisting around further in the direction of that foot. So I've got the torso slightly off-center with the foot, but I can have the head twisting around so it's in direct line with that middle toe. I think I'll do that. I definitely think I'll do that. Alright. Well, I think this looks like Ed 209 at the moment. This one, put a blunt head on the front, and then the guns, and that'll look like the Ed. The mighty Ed 209. Alrighty, so twist that round. Twist it around a little bit more. That is now pretty much almost... I'm not going to be able to line it up for you to see. Oh, there we go. Look at that. That's pretty much in line with the middle toe on that left foot. So the motion of this model now is twisting that way. And from the front, there's a tilt to the torso. It looks quite predatory. That looks like it's hunting. That's not just a static pose. That's what I didn't want a static pose. That's looking kind of... It looks in motion. Yeah, I like that. That is looking quite... well, threatening, really, isn't it? That's a threatening design. Look at that. Yes, BattleTech requires quite a powerful PC. You may have to I had to upgrade some bits on my computer just to run it. Anyway, there we go. That is looking very nice. Skits, you really need to, if you can ever afford it, mate, these are great to work with. The detail on this thing is amazing. Very nice. Okay. I think there's little bits are meant to go on the top there, though. Oh, here we go. Look at that. I really don't know if I want the Eye of Horus. It may be slightly chaosy, but I don't know if I want to go full chaos. I don't know if I want the Eyes of Horus on there. Mainly because Horus was a moron. I really don't want to badge... I don't want to badge my army with Captain Daddy issues, to be quite honest. So I'm sorry, everyone, but I'm going to have to go with the Imperial Aquila on those bits there. I just can't. Lord Commander Daddy issues, just... I've always disliked that clown. They even wrote him as a jerk in the novels, which I liked. It was hard to like the guy, which was important. It made the more sympathetic the other sympathetic Primarchs that followed him much more endearing, because when the boss is a jerk but the other guys are nice, you feel bad for them because they've been sucked in. That's looking pretty wicked. Very, very happy with that. All right. No crunchy bits. That's good. I think I must have run out of plastic shards. Okay, so that's looking pretty cool. I think it's just down to weapons now. I don't see other little itsy bitsy bitties to go anywhere else. It's down to weapons. That's exciting. Yeah, alrighty. Let's do some guns. Now here's the bit where we need to have a discussion. O Council, O mighty Council of Ducks. We are a little light on the council tonight, but that's okay. It's more easy to get a controlling vote. What are we going to arm this thing with? That's the fun part. We got gigantic flamethrowers. We got gigantic plasma cannons. We have massive machine guns. Or a twin laser cannon. Now, I don't see the point in doing both the same, so I'm happy to do a variety of things. No, see, biggest guns is fine, Skits, but they're all big. They're all big. And some of them aren't as big in size as the others. Let's think about it. Maximum firepower. Okay, yes. So I'm thinking a plasma cannon. Plasma cannon. How about a big plasma cannon? And the really big laser cannon. What do you reckon? Because the flame is cool, but it's a little short range. And the heavy bolter and the massive bolter gun is cool, also short range. Short range. So, big guns. We'll go the bigger guns. Okay. Long range is good. And what does Mr. Xenomorph have to say on the matter? Not that he currently can't affect the vote, but Mr. Xenomorph likes the plan. Okay. Now, do you have a question for you specifically, Pidgey? Would you be interested in taking over moderation duties once, because Skits will be off on Monday nights from now on? She will no longer be with us. She's off doing fitness things. So we'll chat online later, but I want to figure out a couple of extra things to do on the channel as well. So we will discuss this. So far, this gun looks great. Look at it. Don't know which way it goes though. And I don't know which one of these things is the bit for this bit. One of these bits are not like the other. I wonder if that's it. That could be it. I don't know what it is. If I put these two together. Ah, okay. Here. Oh, you've done modding before, Cinder. Oh, brilliant. Okay, but look, if you put these two together, right, you've got this big ball joint thing here, this big circle, and a little line up the guts, a little line up the middle there. So I'm thinking is this bit, which also is, it's the ball joint. Where are we? But it has a little, looks like a cannony or a laser sighty sort of thing. So I'm going to see if that bit goes with that bit. What I wanted to see if we could actually find a voting system that can be controlled by the mod. That's really what I want, and other little fun things that the mods can do. So if you want to start looking into that, buddy, that'd be cool. Alrighty, so let's stick this together. I probably should have checked if this was the right fit before I started gluing everything. That'd have been clever. Oh no, look at that. Perfect, 100% shot, beautiful work. What a guess. Basically, that was a complete fluke. Well done, me. Oh, it even covers the back bit as well. How about that? Now it's a big, chunky lump of glue. I hope that doesn't melt too much of the model. Alright, so that's a laser cannon. Which looks very lasing. Though that's a big flat edge, isn't it? Look at that. That's a boring back end flat bit. I'd say we're missing a part there because GW doesn't do boring and flat when it comes to their details. So, what haven't I done? Can't really spot anything. Doesn't make sense for there to be nothing there, though. Pew pew, distant boom. Yes, Cinder. Very much so. So I'm thinking that just bang. We'd bung that in there. Pew pew. Would appear to be the way it goes. Oh. We've got piping. Piping. For all different shapes and sizes depending which gun you're using. Now, that's going to be a nightmare. Hey, Flynn, how you doing, mate? Very good for you. Glad you could join us. Okay, welcome to the new setup. New camera, all nice and shiny. All better setup. Great lighting and all that sort of thing. And we are working. You've missed the fun, but we're working on a Warhound Titan. And I have so far burnt my nose on glue residue. I've accidentally swallowed paint, plastic shards that ended up in my coffee. Different bits of the model have been in the coffee. I've hurt myself a couple of times. The usual sort of routine so far. But yeah, this is going quite well. And the Council of Ducks have decided that this is going to get painted up in a duck style paint job. It's going to get the colors of a duck. Some breed of duck that someone's going to find online for me, I'm sure. Does this mean that I'm now a Titan? It means I'm a tiny bit Titan. There is a percentage of me for the next 8 hours that will be a Warhound Titan. Yes. And now we're trying to figure out where the guns go. We've decided on a big laser cannon, the twin las cannon, and now I'm going to see if I can build the plasma gun to go with it on the other side. And this has all been with one glance at the instruction booklet as usual. And it hasn't been a complete disaster. It hasn't been. Honestly, it hasn't been a complete disaster. It's been occasionally almost a complete disaster. But I've managed to, well, not embarrass myself not embarrass myself entirely. What was that, Joe? Okay, so that looks like. But yes, Flynn, how are you doing? Enough about me. How are you? Are you doing well? Are you just doing? Or are you feeling done? Yeah, I haven't actually needed my chances to use the instruction book. You're right, Cinder. I'll admit that I am somewhat proud, if not a little unduly cocky about that. Yes, coffee. Cheers. Where are we? Cheers, Flynn. That's cold and kind of nasty, but still coffee, so it's good. All right. Now I reckon that these big nodular bits are probably the back end of the plasma cannon. That'd be my guess. It looks very plasma cannon-y. You know, have you seen any other plasma minis that you get in 40K have? I'd say that's for them. Maybe. Oh well. Do I risk it? Let's have a look. Other places that might end up. Kinda, not kinda. Oh, look at that. Actually, look at that. I've just noticed that. Let's try not to be awkward about it. We've got a V-shape, kind of like notch in the back there. And on the back of these nodules is a V-shaped notch. So I'm going to go ahead and guess that that is part of that. How are we doing for time? 10:30. Wow, that's flown. We're having a great time with good people. All right, let's have a look. That should, that might, that should, that could, that would, that will, that is. There we go. That goes there. It actually fits absolutely perfect. I'm not even having to force it. Everything about that slots together brilliantly. You know what? I'd say that if you actually lost your instruction booklet and you couldn't find another one, there's a chance that you could put one of these together anyway. I don't think your entire modeling experience would be ruined if you lost your instructions. Okay. That's exciting. Now, oh, look at that. Yes, I like that. I like it. So, plasma cannon. What do we reckon, people? Plasma cannon in the direction he's hunting, as if he's spotted something nearby, he's going to blow it to pieces. And the double las at a long range. Or do we want this mighty mallard to be lining up something with its laser cannons with a maximum pew pew? What do you reckon? Which gun is it sighting up? The plasma cannon or the twin massive laser cannons? So far we have a vote for the pew pew. I myself have always been fond of the plasma cannons, but we'll see what everyone else thinks as well. Now, I'm going to have trouble with these. I've got a feeling this piping is going to be my downfall. Scanning what the laser? Yep. That's 2 for the laser. I think that's probably good call at the moment. We're going to sit them there. This piping is going to give me a nightmare in it. Maybe not, actually. They all seem to be evenly spaced. There doesn't appear to be any one specific pipe for one specific sort of weapon. It may just be the space between, it may be more the distance between where it's plugged in and where it goes to. Alright, well, unless there's any other ideas regarding what sort of weapon should be on the primary point, I'm going to go with las cannons. I hope you don't mind. I'll probably be building the other Titan off camera, but painting, coming up with the duck design next. next week. Oh, looks like the laser. Okay, no other comments. Laser it is. Them lasers. Now I'm going to try to line that up with the cockpit. Anyone else ever do that? You get down and you try to get line of sight with the weapon to the actual model, even though you never look at the model from that angle, ever. It's just got to kind of feel right. You got to feel like you've put it together properly. I'll sit down and build my Marines. Alright, Cinder, not a problem. We can meet in the city. I have half days, so we can make something work. Alrighty. Yeah, I've got a whole. Whenever I build my Marines or when any minis that are lining up a weapon, I try to actually have them facing accurately, correct facing on the gun, as opposed to line of sight on the head. It's a silly thing to do because no one ever looks at the model like that, but hey, it's fun to do. Now, here's a question. Do I tilt it slightly to match the angle of the body? I think I might. Yeah. Yeah, always looking at what they're shooting. That's what. Unless they're standing with, it's got to be an aimed shot. If it's an aimed pose, then they've got to be looking down the weapon. If they're just posing like it or looking around, yeah, then you do whatever you like. But okay, that doesn't look terrible, people. Rather pleased. That's a big gun. Big gun. Now, the piping. I should have done that earlier. Oh well. Which of the pipes are going to best fit in there? Oh dear. Alright. So, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, even more than usual, thank you. Well, let's just try this one. Let's grab random piping. Let's see what happens. This style of modelling is maybe bold, or foolish, or both. Okay, so that's how that works. Righto, righto, righto. That goes that way. Alright, so I've got the wrong one from kickoff. Alright, go the other side. Put that over there as the other spare part. Hey Joe, could you remind me later to check the floor for the bits that I dropped? Yeah. This style of modelling made you stress. Sorry, Skits, but I'm not sorry. I'm having a lot of fun. It's like a modelling adventure. It's a choose your own adventure, but no one knows what's going on. Yeah, that's just gonna fall out. Okay, well, let's just try gluing it on and see where it lands. Shall we? Shall we? I think we shall. Yep, this was a mistake doing it this way. Alright, forget it. Just pop that off. You just got to admit that you're wrong sometimes and try to do it another way. Because that straight up wasn't working in any way, shape, or form. That was not going to play out well. So now we'll just do this again. Alrighty, reattached. All glued. Oh, look at that! There we go. See how we got the piping in there? Huh. There we go. So now I've got the piping in. It all looks all very nice. I can't line that up. I can't mirror. I hate mirror viewing. Oh, you get the idea, right? Tip it that way, idiot. No. There we go. Finally. So everyone, that's the piping in there on the gun. Brilliant. Okay. And now with the next one, since it's further out, I wonder if... Well, that's going to suck. The pipes at the bottom. That's going to be a weird angle, isn't it? How's that going to work? Like, oh, okay, one of these longer ones. Okay. Maybe if we twist that off and plug it in like that, haha, it's gonna work. See, you plug him into the back there, and that piping will sit up level with the rest of the Mini, I think. That was a poor angle to show you. I'm just going to glue it down and I'll show you what I mean in a second. Ow. Good news is the glue on the side of my nose has dried. Bad news is I think it's welded some nose hairs together, so that's really annoying. Anyway, that's what I meant by the piping sitting level, you see? It's a very, very well designed model. Once again, G-dubs cost the earth, but pretty much the best minis in the game at the moment. Though I have seen some really, really nice ones from Privateer Press of late. I just want to see if they've got any models complicated enough to be worth building on a stream. A lot of them just seem to be kind of pushed together and a little dull. And it's quick for painting, but a bit boring to show off to people. And there's not much fun in this if there's no chance of failure. Because that's the whole idea of of doing it this way, is to entertain people with the potential of failure. Because there's hundreds of channels that we see incredibly competent people doing their thing. Okay. Do I want both guns in the... No, I don't really want both guns in the correct direction, I don't think. We'll have one of them facing... Oh, no, that's all right. What do you think? Are we happy with the plasma cannon facing slightly forwards as well, or should they be slightly off to the right a bit more, like it's still swinging its guns around, but at the moment it's turning around to absolutely annihilate something. Kind of don't mind it, looking like it's specifically hunting something there. Where's my lighting gone? There we go. Yeah, you're right. I think it's you're right, Skits. It looks focused. It looks like it's very specifically hunting. Something's gonna get fired upon. Now, if it's anything other than another Titan, it's gonna get absolutely annihilated. Thank you for the dark options on Facebook Messenger. Thank you. That is looking pretty darn nifty. Not too bad at all. Yeah. Well, that is a Warhound Titan. I think that's fully constructed. I can't see any bits that I've missed. There are no leftover components that seem to be that they should be here. So and the piping on that side looks pretty good as well. So I'm thinking that's done. That is a completed Warhound Titan. That only took me an hour 45. Not too bad. Probably about an hour and 40. if you can, all the babbling at the start. But yeah, I'm rather pleased with that. Ta-da. Indeed, Flynn. And it wasn't a disaster. I have not ruined the model, but I did burn myself and swallow plastic. So wasn't wasn't without its challenges, but they were not modeling related challenges. There was just Murray existing related challenges. And yeah, I saw Skitz's comment there, Cinder. I'm not drawing attention to it. I'm just going to let that go away. I'm gonna check out the instruction book if that's okay now, just to see, did I get anything particularly wrong. Oh, that's all correct. That looks pretty good. There's nothing that I got the legs around the right way. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The legs are the correct way. Those components are correct. Correct. Yep, I guessed that bottom bit right. Yes. Okay, so the piping seems to be kind of random. Maybe, actually, no, 15, 15. Okay, there are very specific pipes for different ones. I may have just got lucky. I think I may have just got lucky. I'm really happy with that. Well done, me. Yeah. So 5. Brilliant. Rather pleased. Now, I was going to show you all something else, but it's not right here with me. And I don't want to run off and go hunting for it again. There's only a couple of minutes left in this particular stream. Anyhow, so I might build some other minis. I might build some other weaponry. That could be cool. Or I could start. I'll build another torso while I'm sitting here talking. But now, okay. So does anyone have any questions for me? Since I am a movie fiend, let's talk movies for a moment for the last 10 minutes or so. Anyone got any questions about either upcoming movies or old movies, or things I want to discuss on that topic? Because I'm always interested in that. Actually, for example, hey, the cinemas are open again. Anyone else notice that? Out of the Hyperdome, Logan Hyperdome, cinema doors were open, and you can view things. You can actually go and watch movies again down here, which is exciting. Rather pleased with that. Very keen to see Black Widow when it comes out very shortly. Well, by very shortly, I mean the end of the year. But I'm super excited about that one. Like, one of the greatest story arcs in the MCU. And we get to see some fleshed out backstory. And both Scarlett Johansson, who they made an executive producer, by the way, in that movie. I think that's just brilliant. I mean, why wouldn't you? She knows that character now. But both Scarlett and other members of the people in charge of such things have referred to the Black Widow movie as franchise. That's right. They have not said standalone. They did not say one shot. They said franchise a couple of times. So that got my attention. When they said that, I can tell you. Oh, John Wick 4? They're doing a fourth one? Right, I really should go and watch the first one. That'll actually be a fun review, actually, I think. There's 4 in it. Yeah, actually, I heard that the last John Wick ended as quite the cliffhanger, with him getting a warning or something. He's on the run, if I understand that correctly. Yeah, my theory, and there's a couple of people with the same theory. There's other theories, of course. Theories everywhere. but it might these Black Widow, if they really go with a Black Widow franchise, which she so deserves, both the actress and the character. I'm thinking, why not? They could be like the Chronicles. They could it'd be like the Chronicles of the Black Widow, the Black Widow Files. Like even if it's like someone like Hawkeye, or there's another one of the other still alive, still living characters, MCU heroes, looking through or talking about a mission that they did once, and they need to review it for something else, and it could end up pulling up a data bank or some old files and reading through, looking at the missions that Natasha has been on. And yes, they have halted all Marvel releases until the Black Widow screens. They didn't want to go ahead without her, and I think that's very telling. I think that's because there's an animated movie, all right. I think it was put out by Lionsgate, and it's this wicked story. It's the Black Widow teaming up with the Punisher at the request or the behest of Shield to go off and take out this organization, and it's a very neat story for both characters, and the way they are shown to be very very similar but very very different as well. Brilliant. Frank Castle and Natasha Romanoff are a terrifying combo, and it was done anime style American anime style, not anime style. So if it was just one shot, there would be no reason to put the brakes on the new TV stuff. That's true, although they have said that the TV stuff operates in its own timeline. It's still within the actual timeline, but it is a little less dependent on the cinematic release schedule. In fact, they've mentioned that the cinematic release schedule is more dependent on the TV show than the other way around, which I find very interesting. And I am super keen to see what they do or what they have done with the Scarlet Witch series, because she is another character that is phenomenally not only powerful but interesting. And the version they've got in the MCU is nowhere near as Looney Tunes as the version in the comics, but she could definitely end up that way. So that's also terribly curious. I've done that. How have I stuffed that up? This is exactly the same as the last. Oh no, there we go. That's okay. It's okay, everyone. I fixed it. Or at least it didn't stuff it as much as I thought I had. But yeah, I am very, very interested to see what they're going to do with the Black Widow, and the fact that they keep saying the word franchise, even if that's a mistake, it just I'm so keen to see that turn into something. Nuts! I do have to go and find that other piece. Oh, I'll do that once my time's up. Okay. They've also got the Loki show. That's currently going to be reshooting. They've almost finished that one. There's some crazy, there's an amazing amount of actors they've got in that show. Actually, that Loki one. And look, I'm not sure if I'm as interested in the Sam Wilson and as the Falcon and the Winter Soldier one as I am the others, but I'm still going to watch them, obviously. But that one doesn't really excite me as much. But hey, I look forward to being incorrect. As for other rumors, it would appear that the DC All Access or the DC stuff, that streaming service may be about to tank hard, may actually be getting shut down because they seem to be handing all their contracts or their television rights, over to another streaming service that they own. And there's not much point in having two streaming services if they're competing. You own both, and then you're competing with yourself. Doesn't seem to make any sense. So I'd say that that's probably on its last legs. And that's not just me speculating. That seems to be a lot of other people. industry insiders and all that sort of thing speculating heavily on that. And it's been speculated on for a while, to be honest. It'd be a shame, but I'm also not surprised. I just want DC to start producing something that's coherent and good, like regularly and consistently excellent. Um, I don't. I want to have everything good. Yeah, it doesn't look like the shows are getting cancelled, Zeno. They're more like just getting relocated to another streaming service. So that I'm encouraging. Encouraging. That is encouraging. That they're not cancelling them, just relocating them. So I'm hoping that's what's going ahead. And I like my. I am the. Marvel's my favorite. Everyone knows that. But I'd like to see a bit more of a spread, so to speak, of successes from DC. Like not just one, then another, then one, then another. Like I mean, Wonder Woman was amazing. Aquaman was entertaining, not as good as Wonder Woman, but still not completely terrible. Um, that Birds of Prey movie was just, what was that? What were they trying to do? I don't know what they were doing with that. It certainly wasn't Birds of Prey. Oh, Doom Patrol. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. Haven't seen that yet, Mr. Zeno. Morph, but I intend to. What am I doing? What was I doing here? Oh, making a pelvis. Oh, you're no Birds of Prey. You loved it. That's brilliant. I'm so glad you enjoyed that, Flynn. That's really good. I foolishly went in having loved the comics, and all those support characters in Birds of Prey are not support characters in the comics. They're actually lead characters. And Harley Quinn, if anything, is a background villain. So they've kind of flipped it. And I mean Montoya, right? To begin with, Montoya and the Huntress are no one's background characters. Good grief, no. But oh man, we're in this one, etc., etc. That sort of thing. So my only complaints came from what I already knew and what I didn't get. I had a very hard time, and I know it's my own fault. I had a very hard time separating prior knowledge with current viewing. It's really hard to do at times. I'm probably going to watch it again and try to just sit back and enjoy it for what it is, not what it could have been or what the other versions were. You know what I mean? But anyway, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Flynn. That is, you had a good time, mate. Then that's great. I'm always happy when people enjoy a movie, because as we all know, there's very few things more disheartening than spending money and, you know, the movie sucks. I've been to a few too many of them. Yeah, they were going to go, Mr. Xenomorph. Yeah, they were going to go with the Gotham Sirens series, which they really should have, but that got canned in favor of the Birds of Prey idea. And from what we can tell, Warner Brothers got confused or lost or something because, see, what they did was they told a Gotham Sirens story but called it Birds of Prey. They literally got the cast wrong. Right story, wrong title. Very odd choice. I didn't think they could botch a title group like that as bad as Suicide Squad, but it turns out they did. Uh, Again, this is not to rag on something that Flynn loved, because if she look again, she enjoyed it. Flynn enjoyed it. Flynn enjoyed it, and that's good. Someone had to, and I'm glad that you got your money's worth, because that's a win. That is an absolute win when you can come out of a movie happy that you saw it. I mean, there's plenty of movies that no one else liked that I loved. Ghost Rider, for example. That was that I had so much fun with that stupid movie, and I know it's just a stupid movie too. But yeah, Gotham Sirens would have made more sense. So you run this by you, Flynn, if you're still with us. I know it's very early for you. Um, so you take Harley Quinn and you have her running around with Poison Ivy, and maybe some of the other lighter villains doing their storyline. So it's yeah, it would have been the Birds of Prey story, but with Poison Ivy, and the other villains. That would have been so much better. But hey, you can only get what you get. And yeah, goes right. Shouldn't have been anywhere. It's not a good movie, but it's a fun one. I enjoyed. Actually, I'm going to retract that statement. It is actually a good movie. Cinematically speaking, it's brilliantly shot. They don't make many errors. I think it's just mostly in content. It gets a bit. It bites itself. Here we go. Flynn, good. The characters in Imaginary. I didn't read DC. Okay, start that again. Flynn, the characters didn't matter quite so much to me. I didn't read the DC comics, so I knew who the characters are, but I tend to be more forgiving of canon divergences. Yes, that's good. That's good. Well, that's why you enjoyed yourself so much, and that is a really good thing. That's an important thing, and I can usually do that. I think it's because I so badly want DC to have a major win and continue doing really good things that I hang more on their success than I hang on Marvel's stuff, because we know Marvel's going to do well, and even if they do badly, it'll be bad once. They'll apologize and they'll fix it next time. You know what I mean? Oh, you're just happy to see a movie about awesome ladies being awesome and working together. Yes. Just allowed to be characters rather than eye candy. That I did enjoy. That I really did enjoy that. Even if the director seems to sometimes forget that, and well, you've got Harley running around doing Harley things. Even when they forgot that on their own movie, I loved it. I did like the way they portrayed, mostly enjoyed the way they portrayed the girls in that movie. They just also felt like they dropped the ball pretty heavily in other areas of the same thing. Dad's really sad. I'm really sad about what happened to New Mutants. I'm actually feeling a little happier about New Mutants, since what they've done is they've gone back to what it was going to be, instead of the new edits and everything. Take it back to the original vision, which was a pseudo psychological horror movie set in the X-Men universe, which I'm kind of keen for. I thought the bits for oh, I'm about to wrap up. Okay, but I thought the bits that they had, what they got right in Birds of Prey, they got really right. Yeah, her look in Birds of Prey, they fixed so much in Birds of Prey for her look, especially. I really liked how they fixed her in many ways in Birds of Prey. What they got right, they got really right. What they managed to botch was really hard to deal with, for me anyway. But still, hey, it's a somewhat divisive movie, but everyone can agree that it's nice not to have them just running around as pretty things doing stuff. I did enjoy that aspect so much more than I actually expected. I didn't expect it to be that. You hope it's going to be that good, right? And then they delivered in that area, and I was very happy with that. But anyway, I'm out of time, and I've chewed up a lot of it at the end there talking about movies, which I love doing. That's okay. But there we are. 1 hour and 45 minutes later, I have built a Warhound Titan and looking at the instructions once only. I'm very proud of that. And next week, we are going to sit down and we're going to design the color scheme of this thing, which could be amazing and terrifying, but we're going to make it work, okay? So yeah, thank you very much. Again, thank you very, very much, everyone, for joining me tonight. I hope you had a good time. Um, I hope I was at least somewhat entertaining, and I hope I haven't upset anyone with my movie, my movie opinions. Alrighty. So, yeah. Hope everyone has a really good night. Try that again. I'm so sorry. Mr. Fish Prince is in. You've turned up at the very last second. Ah, hey Fish. So glad to have you back. So sorry you just missed out. I'm about to wrap up and I'm done. But this will be available for you to watch, and hopefully we'll be able to catch you next week. Mr. Fish. Anyway, again, thank you everyone for joining me tonight. Hope you're having a great time. Hope you have a great week ahead of you. And I hope everything goes well. Make some time to watch a movie, and most definitely make some time to do some modeling and get some hobby in. So thanks again. Everybody take care, and we'll catch you next week, okay? Cheers.